This is Real Juicy Talks.
Hi all, I'm Rosie.
And I'm Darlene Blaze, and welcome to the second series of Real Juicy Talks.
Here in Real Juicy Talks, we give you real juicy information about unique and interesting individuals. And for today, we have Aisyah. Okay, so a short introduction about her. She's a singer for remixo.sg. She's also a singer in Fasola Music, and she's a top 12 finalist in Nibo's 2015 Encore English category. And in 2007, she won the competition 1 Minute of Fame that all of you guys know, which is in Octo. So yeah, welcome Aisyah. Hi.
Thank you. Hi everybody. How's everybody doing?
Great. How
Great.
are you?
It's been good. It's been nice to talk to new people. Finally, instead of talking to just my family members and my colleagues through Zoom. So it's nice. It's nice to meet everybody and nice to meet you.
So how did the name remixo.sg and Fasola Music come along?
Okay, so basically Remixo was actually a very random band. We didn't even plan on setting it up until we had an opportunity to perform at one of my university's charity concerts. So all of us had a mutual friend, which was Ash Trebles. He was the guitarist. He's the guitarist for Remixo. So we all knew Ash on separate occasions. And then when this charity concert needed a band to play in, right? So that's when Ash got all of us together and created Remixo. So basically the name Remixo is actually the short form of a Latin word. So yeah, so what this word means is that different elements coming together. And since we are a band and our essence is music, so we decided to shorten it to Remixo. And it's also like a very interesting thing because in the beginning we didn't do a lot of mashups or we didn't do so-called remix, and then we realized that hey, why not we do it since our band name is already Remixo. So that's how we got our identity per se for Remixo.
And how about Fasola Music?
Okay, so Fasola Music is actually of a similar story as well. So what Fasola Music is, we're actually an ethnic / modern group. So before the circuit breaker comments, I should say, we did release one song. It was called Ketipak Ketipung. Oh, sorry, it's been like so long. Yeah, so basically, if you have listened to the song, it has a lot of elements of it has a lot of ethnic elements, a lot of use of traditional music instruments, and then you also have like a little bit of R&B and like a little bit of beat here and there and a little bit of mixing. So that's what a Fasola is basically about. It's about bringing old and new music together. Yeah. So basically, what we wanted to do was to make traditional music more relevant to the Gen X and Gen Y and Gen Z. Yeah.
I see.
And as for the name, we came out with it at 4 a.m. in the studio.
Wait, can I give a guess? Is it something like Do Re Mi Fa Sol La? Okay, great.
Basically, what I usually do before recording sessions would be I would do vocal I decided that I wanted to pursue singing, I actually did take up a lot of classes. I was in a performing arts school for about 7 years. So in that school, I did a lot of things. I danced, I sang, I hosted, I learned how to model, oddly enough. I was in a play, I was in theater. So I did all of that. And then I realized that as much as my parents always say that, hey, we will always support you, like, you know, all the way, no matter what you want to do, you know, at the end of the day, they have things that they like and they have things that they do not like.
Mm-hmm.
So what I realized was that they were more supportive of me pursuing music as compared to, you know, being an actress or things like that. So, but thankfully it turned out well, because I didn't have much of an interest in acting, so I guess they were okay with it. But they did have a conversation with me. They said like, hey, what do you really want to do? Like, because like, yes, you can be a jack of all trades, but you need to be able to focus on something that you really like. If not, you will always be an amateur in everything, because like you're dividing your time so much, and you're not focusing on one. And then they were saying that what they said was true, because acting and like being in theater takes up a lot of your time.
True.
And at that point of time, I was taking my PSLE, and then 4 years down the road, I took my O levels. So it was really, it was something that I really needed to give a lot of thought to. So yeah, definitely they were trying to move me towards music and away from theater for that reason. Yeah.
Okay. So like, how did you juggle that time between like, you had PSLE and then O levels, and then you had like your performing arts? So how do you juggle it?
Oh, it was definitely very, very hard. There were days that I would cry every single day, because I had classes, I had school. Obviously, you have school from Monday to Friday, and then you would think that on the weekends you can rest and things like that. You know, like, you know how teachers are. Every Friday you get a lot of homework. But the thing is, instead of being able to, you know, stay at home and like focusing on school and finishing up my weekend homework, I would be in the dance studio. You know, I would be in classes, dancing and singing and things like that. And it was very, very exhausting for me. And every year we have an annual concert. So when the annual concert comes to like, you know, when we are doing preparations for annual concerts, I can be at the school, at the performing arts school, from 9 a.m. all the way to 9 p.m. So, it's usually during these periods that are the most stressful for me, and I would cry every single day. But I told myself, even at a young age, I need to do what I need to do. Like, school is definitely has always been the number one priority for me, because I grew up being a realist. So I never had like very big ambitions that I was just going to pursue music alone. Might be a good thing, might be a bad thing, I don't know. But yeah, I always knew that school was always my number one priority. So in between my classes, no matter how tired I was, I would always be at the side doing my homework. So yeah, that was how I managed to juggle, I guess. And my parents were also very, very strict. I didn't have a lot of computer time or things like that. So when I was at home, before I can even like watch TV or play games and things like that, I would have to like finish up my homework first. So honestly, I would give all the credit to my parents, because they were very, very strict parents growing up, because they knew that for me to be able to pursue music as well as do well in school, I needed like a very strict and firm structure.
I think you're really a true example of like passion never dies. But I'm like so curious, because you have a really good support system. You know, your parents were there to support you, and they were being like strict with you, but also allowing you to do what you love. But what about those people who actually really want to pursue what they want to do, but you know, they have strict parents, or you know, they are affected by the society's view of them? What would you, you know, tell them? Because not everyone is fortunate enough.
to be honest, I have done things. In the beginning, my dad, I didn't think that my dad was as supportive as my mom was. But at the end of the day, if you really love to do something, here's the loophole: your parents will love you no matter what you do. It's the truth. As long as it is morally right and it's not illegal, one way or another, your parents will find, the space in their heart to accept it. And if they see that whatever you do makes you really happy, and I'm sure slowly, it's gonna take time, to be honest. It is gonna take time. Slowly they will be able to accept the fact that this is what you want to do with your life, and at the end of the day, they can advise you. And I think it also comes to how you react to their I would say opinions. My parents are pretty old, so they have a very different parenting style. They are very strict and very straightforward. So my dad would just say, "Hey, I don't like you to do this." But what I always did in return was that I would always just I wouldn't get angry lah. I would just say, "Okay, I understand that you don't like me to do something, but you need to know that this is what I really love, and I'm not doing anything bad. And if you can assure them that you can get money from this." That's what parents are concerned about, right? Come on, let's be real. Let's be real. They are concerned with your future and if you're going to make money or not. Then I'm sure it was going to take some time, but they will be able to accept it.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that because, like, how to say, sometimes they just react that way because they really just care about you.
At the end of the day, they really do, they just want your best interest at heart to make sure that you are taken care of when you're not there. Yeah.
So that's it for today's podcast. Thank you so much, Aisyah, for joining us on this wonderful day, giving us your time. I'm sure you're pretty busy with
Thank you.
Yeah, your music. And to our audience, thank you so much for tuning in with where we give you real juicy talks. And don't forget to follow us on IG at RealJuicyTalks. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button wherever it is. And stay juicy.